What is up? Hey gang, how y'all doing? It's Mob Guppy, where the Guppy is the mob. I'm having actually just water from the tap with some delicious ice. I figured I'd try that out. It's good. Mm. Welcome to the Pandemic special. Let's see who's here first. Tampa Tom Fishing. Chewy. William Pridemore. Melvin with Rebuilding Our Brand. Fugginfish. Pepling Creek Aquatics. Peter Beer Pumpkin Eater. Let's see here. Doug Gray in the house. The man who single-handedly fought off the alien reptilian invasion of 2027, traveled back through time to tell us about it. It's Peter Thiel. Yes, I did. I use wormholes. Almost as fun as hornwort. Do you like hornwort? Let me some hornwort. Posiwi! What's going on? I don't know if Chewy's here or not. He was right here at the beginning, right before we went on. He was an early adopter. Chewy, there you are. All right. Excellent. I sent a note to our buddy Anthony. I'm ready to be on his video whenever he wants me to be. Color Guppies, what's up? How y'all doing? It's beautiful weather in Joplin. Got into the 70s today. It was really nice. Yeah, one guppy in the tank is tough to feed. Exactly correct. Let's see. You're a moss hoarder. You're very good. You know what? Who killed Kenny? It's one of the great mysteries of life. South Park, it goes for me personally. I sort of like all the kids for different reasons, obviously, because they're different. It's Kenny and Butters. Really, it's just you can't help but love those guys. Life does find a way. Yes, it does. One of the great quotes from the movie Jurassic Park. Yeah, I love Butters. It's Cartman is great just because Cartman is just off doing crazy stuff. But there's no heart to Cartman. Eric Cartman has no heart, and there's nothing there. So there we go. Yeah, Tweak, a one-shot deal. I like Tweak. I like them all. There's there's something wonderful about each one of the kids. I miss Chef. I do miss Chef. Yeah, there's again Bob Kaler in the house. Great having you here. I'm going to be heading. Unfortunately, I won't be getting over as far as Chattanooga to see. I'd stop and see if I could have lunch with Chattanooga Ed and Bob Kaler and the rest of the Chattanooga Mafia. I'm gonna be in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna do a long weekend. I'm gonna take a week. I'm gonna take a Saturday off in December from doing the live stream because I'm gonna be in Alabama. I'm gonna drive down to Huntsville, Alabama, and stay with my friends Sherry and Victor, and run around town and say hi to a few people. Bolo will love it because Sherry loves Bolo, and Sherry also has an old dog that's small like Bolo, and go from there. Might have to get 5 or 6 females per males when it comes to peacocks. I've not kept either of those, and I really kind of like peacocks. I think they're really cool, and it's believe me, I could go African cichlid. Sorry for yawning. I slept like a baby last night. Whatever happened to Timmy's great rock band? Timmy! I don't know. They need to bring that back. What I like about Timmy on South Park is that is that even though he says one word, Timmy, he communicates really well. Slept like a baby. That's a great U2 song, says Chewy. Yeah, I went to sleep, and it's tough to get to sleep while you're watching your favorite football team lose a game. But I did it. I did not make it to 9 o'clock last night, so that was good. Again, I don't know why I'm yawning. Yeah, no, with Timmy, it's all in the tona. Wow, here we go. They're going after each other pretty good. Let's see. Doug, did you wet the bed? Fell asleep while they were winning. Yes, I did. But trust me, the idea with my beloved Vikings of this crop defense is young. They don't know what they're doing, and they're up against Russell Wilson, who is fantastic. And the idea about Russell Wilson, uh, I'll tell you a Russell Wilson story. We'll get off football and back to fish. Is that Pete Carroll, who's the coach of Seattle, called up Bud Grant. Bud Grant still on the payroll of the Minnesota Vikings, longtime coach of the Vikings, and Pete Carroll was an assistant at the Vikings at one point. And so Pete Carroll calls up and he goes, "Hey, there's this player we're thinking of drafting as quarterback. The problem is he's not quite 6 feet tall. And should we take him?" And Bud Grant said, "Is he a winner?" He goes, "Yeah, I think the guy's a winner." He goes, "Who cares what the height is? If he's a winner, he's a winner." So there you go. Yeah, Russell Wilson has a pretty wife. That's absolutely. Yeah, 75 gallon. I'll tell you what, my 65-gallon tank, I really like that. And I'm sure I'd like 75-gallon tank. I need to get one of those whenever I get my fish room done. 33 longs for your endlers. There you go. Tampa, Tom, you're building a live well for the new boat. There you go. It's nice. Scott's Aquatics. How are you? Let's see if anybody else I'm missing here. Saw Scott's Aquatics. She just didn't say hi to Scott's Aquatics, which is sad. So yeah, that's the deal about mouth breeders. That's one thing I've really not worked with is mouth breeders. And I prefer, again, it's something I'll probably do. Vinny the Mooch, what's going on, buddy? Breeders, not breathers. Believe me, I live in Southwest Missouri, and if I drive to Kansas, rural Kansas, there's a lot of mouth breeders there. Breathers, not breeders. Well, probably both. Again, it's I will say this about the Kansas people, they're very nice. I live in Joplin, Missouri. I'm like 5 minutes away from Oklahoma. I'm about 10 minutes away from Kansas. So I can cross the border at any time. I can go nuts. I'm just slightly less than an hour away from Arkansas. I mean, it's like a dream come true. It's you can do all sorts of stuff in traveling. So the deal is with the folks from Kansas, we're very nice. Um, they're terrible drivers. They either drive because this Joplin is like a shopping hub for southeastern Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma. They come here, to get their provisions and stuff, and they are horrific. It's either they drive like bats out of hell. I mean, just open the gate, let the bats get out, or they're 15 to 20 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. Either or. Don't ask me why. Perfectly fine people. Speed, the speed suggestion or the speed limit. Trust me, it's the main strip in beautiful Joplin, Missouri is called Range Line. And it has so many lights that if you get above the speed limit, you're really pushing it. Yeah, but just go the speed limit. Just it. On the freeway, drive like hell. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not gonna do salt water. I have it's I'm living it through our buddy Bob, who has the saltwater fish, and I appreciate that. I've lived around the country, and I've noticed each place. Hey, Jess, what's up? Mains, tails, fur, and fins in the house. The woman that is pushing me to set up a betta barracks. It is pushing me to it. It's that temptation that we all have to do, certain types of fish. And a betta barrack seems better than 300 uh, bottles all over the house. Scott, your car can't go over 45 without falling apart. Are you driving a Subaru? I did a Subaru joke. I beat Posiwi and Doug to the Subaru joke. I can't drive 55. Fug and Fish, here's the deal. It's nothing wrong with Subarus, but there's sort of a running gag about bringing up Subarus. So don't worry. Doug Gray says, yes, there is something wrong with the Subaru. They're fine. I can live with them. Never owned a Subaru. Going through it, I've always had different types of cars. Never been married to a brand. There you go, 335,000 a year, Chrysler Town Country. I think my dad did the same thing. Hey, 16 here, 7 thumbs up, gang. Thank you very much. If you can give us a big thumbs up, that's helpful for the channel as we're narrowing in on 500. Hey, Big J's Fish Keeper, how y'all doing? What's going on? Glad you're here. Trust me, we've all had something going out. Yeah, it's let's watch the language, everybody. David Samsel, how are you? Welcome. Hey, Mob. You want to watch straight tonight? We have giveaways. Very good. I'll what time are you doing it, Mains, Tails, Fur, and Fins? If it isn't too late, I'll try to stay up and watch it. A lot of you guys are really nocturnal creatures. Jesse, how are you? Oh, on Chubb's channel at 9? I'll try to stay awake. See, I get up at 3:45 in the morning, so it's and I have to get my 6 hours of sleep. You don't remain this attractive without paying attention to your sleep habits. I used to be a nocturnal creature, and it's just work has me on these type of hours. I used to work the late night shift. You know, it's I liked the second shift. Overnight shift, I could take it or leave it. It was just work in the yard is that working the graveyard. There were some cool parts about working graveyard. If any of you've ever done it, is that you're able to go and do everything you need to do during the day, and it's really cool. The bad thing about it is that it really screws up a personal life. All right, David Samsley, you know what I'm talking about. Up nice and early, well before the sun comes up. There you go, Scott. Yeah, it's you know, at least for me, this morning schedule is not terrible. I go to work. I arrive at work right about 5, and today I left work at 1:30. Of course, I take a break in the middle. I come home and give Bolo a walk and feed the fishies. Yeah, worms are very good. Yeah, my brother's really nocturnal. I mean, he's up much later than I am. And again, I used to work that late night shift, so I was really on it. Yeah, I had it down to where I would get off work at 8 a.m. and there was a breakfast place that had nothing but people who had were I don't think these were necessarily people working graveyard shift. I think it was people who, may have a problem. And but there was this place, and this is like in the, probably in the early 90s. And it no longer exists. The south side of Minneapolis, called the Poodle Club. And the Poodle Club had this amazing breakfast: 2 eggs, bacon or sausage, hash browns, a Bloody Mary, or a screwdriver, or a beer. It was like 250 or 225. It was 225. And if you asked, and this is the type of place this was, hey, you know what? Can I substitute the Bloody Mary for a cup of coffee? They look at you and they go, it's an extra dollar. Not joking. And upstairs from the Poodle Club, a lot of the chronic lived. So there you go. Budweiser and tomato juice. Now, drinking a Passover, pretty good. Have some Manischewitz. All in favor of drinking on Passover. My dad had a brother who's no longer with us who was an alcoholic and who fought alcoholism his adult life. He was dry for long periods of time, then he'd start drinking again, go back and forth. And his joke was the only time of the year that he didn't drink, the only day he did not drink when he was drinking was New Year's Eve. He called it amateur night. So there you go. You tripped up the stairs. You're 7. Yeah, I'm not much of a drinker. I'll have an occasional beer. I'll have tequila or bourbon. Sometimes I'll buy a bottle of bourbon. I'll have a shot of bourbon, with dinner. But that's about it. I can go, between booze, I can go 6 months without purchasing any. Hall & Oates went to Temple University in Philly in the late 60s, early 70s. That's who we can blame. Oh, the drink of the hour tonight? In fact, I may have to get up for a second. Some delicious water from the tap. That's it. That's what I'm doing. In fact, hey, Melvin, what's up? Hold on a second here. Hold on. I'm going to get some more water from the tap. I'm going nuts. Going nuts here. Oh, yeah. All righty. Melvin, how's your search for Doug's next ex-wife from the Philippines. You did find Dr. Pepper baked beans? Is that like a thing now? I'm not a baked beans guy. I don't mind Mexican style refried beans. I don't mind frijoles negros, the Mexican brown beans. I'm not a big fan of baked beans. I'll eat it, at a picnic or what have you, but I'm not buying it at any time. Yeah, well, nothing wrong with trying it, Pulsiwi. Nothing wrong with trying it at all. No, this hasn't been sponsored by Subaru. Where is our buddy Renee? I'm gonna have to send her an email. Marco, how are you? Or maybe your husband just went crazy is setting her up nice aquariums. She's in Southern California, so I hope there wasn't one of those fires in her area. My sister my brother and sister were both living in LA for a period. And one of the fires got into sort of the subdivision my sister was living in. And it was like a block over, the houses were leveled. Her neighborhood was saved, which is fantastic. Finoxky tanks, Marco. Who else is here? Nice to see you guys. Yeah, it's anything exciting going on in your fish room? As soon as I'm done with today's live stream, I'm gonna feed some live baby brine shrimp to all the happy fish in my fish room. Manuela Bato to propose to her. So yeah, so just water from the tap. Yeah, my Vikings lost. Okay, I'll do that. I know how you are with the Italian girls there, Doug. Saw raising fish for food in a pond. I, you know what? I like fishing, and I haven't thought of doing that in the pond. What I've thought about doing in the pond is doing the koi. Um, I love going fishing. I love fishing for crappies, for bass, for walleye. I enjoy fishing, and I don't do it nearly enough. And heaven knows how early I wake up. You think that I would be out during the summer, all the time to go fishing. Let's see. I will tell you the longest time I've gone between water changes was probably as I was moving here, moving into the into this house because as I was packing, getting ready to go, getting ready to get things set up, and I probably went about a month on water changes, which I generally try to do water changes every week. Sometimes it's every other week, but I try to do it every week. The deal is with the water changes, it is that, technically, if you have a healthy aquarium, you don't need to do it all the time, but it helps everything. It helps get rid of the extra poop, extra stuff like that, and allows your fish to be happier and healthier. So there you go. BTW Aquatics, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. 18 people here, 14 thumbs up. Thanks, gang. So Chewy's saying the reason why I said this is because there's a lot of fishing ports are shutting down, and you're more in control about the pathogens in a pool than the fish in the sea. And you know what? That may be. I'm not going to argue with that. Doug said I used to date a cross-eyed girl, and I found out that she was seeing someone on the other side. But please use that in one of your streams, one of your videos, please. Yeah, the deal is that you do the water changes to get rid of the poop, get rid of the bad stuff that goes into the aquarium. And because the poop at the bottom of the aquarium, yeah, it will break up in a healthy aquarium, but it's just better if you do the water change. Tilapia from fish farms in Canada and USA have to be GMO inspected. And by the way, and if somebody disagrees with me, fine. I no skin off my back. But when everything is said and done, if you defined a genetically modified organism, that they've gone in, they've added a gene to help it grow. Glowfish, for instance, are GMO certified. They're a GMO fish. They've been genetically modified organisms. Okay, is that if you go through and look at how we take care of every animal that human beings take care of, every plant is genetically modified. And is that you breed guppies, for instance, just because that's sort of what we do. Generation after generation, you breed for certain characteristics, certain colors. You want females that look like this, males that look like that. You breed till you get exactly what you're after. And the deal is with fish is that if you get something really good, well, good luck repeating it. And Doug Gray can tell this, that all of a sudden there you go, you have a show guppy that is just killing it for you, is really winning for you. And you're hoping that that next generation will be even better, and sometimes it isn't. And for human beings, how do you pick your mate? How do you pick the person you're going to have children with? It's there are certain types of characteristics in someone that you're attracted to. Jeff, what's up, Valley Fish? Well, the same thing, it goes in. Yeah, Doug Gray, there you go. Doug Gray, if you've seen a video, is some black lace snakeskins that he's developed. It's taken him 2 years. He's not done yet, but they're really nice looking. And I mean, they're fascinating to look at. Um, and by the way, if you speak to, is that, the internet's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Obviously, without the internet, we're not discussing things. Okay. But the internet also has a lot of misinformation, mainly because you can put up millions of things and and let's face it, because science has been, oh man, I'm just gonna walk down something. Again, I apologize. Um, the one thing we have learned, especially in the pandemic, is that the experts are not necessarily the experts. During the pandemic, as we've all saw and gone back and forth, the experts have been changing their mind on everything over and over and over again. And we have been told that, forever, yeah, trust the experts, trust the science, trust all this. But they've been so wrong on so much of this stuff that it's very difficult. If you sit there and you say, yeah, I don't trust the people doing the science on the project, I don't blame you. And guess what? You haven't done anything wrong. Yeah, trust your gut instincts, trust your stuff there. But you know, if you go through and read some of the science websites, they'll say, "Hey, you gene splice something that helps a salmon grow, so it's a bigger salmon when you're eating it. There's no skin off your back. It's not going to hurt you because whatever we eat comes down to certain characteristics: proteins, fats, fibers, and essentially that's what it is, and sugars. So the four things, basically, four characteristics in every meal that we eat. So it's and we as a society, um, the American society eats way too many sugars for how active we are. Just is. Well, Chewy, that's what's brought up is that some of these, quote unquote, Frankenfoods increase the chance for cancer. And is it true or not? I don't know. Hey, John Oliver, how are you? Hey, caffeine is good. And by the way, coffee over time, selectively bred, selectively developed, has created, higher caffeine. Yeah, again, the whole idea is that, is that, um, a carcinogen that causes cancer. Um, I know the allegations have been brought up that that some of the Franken foods could do that. Um, And I don't know if that's true or false, just to be fair, because there's people with skin in the game. You have scientists who are being paid to determine things in a certain way. All food is bad for you. Yet we need it to survive. For instance, if you eat, you can eat the world's greatest, you can eat nothing but nuts and berries, and your body's missing things that you need in it. So there you go. Twinkies are good for you. Probably not. Well, and the deal about uh, corn is that corn has been selectively bred for bigger kernels, higher sugar content. It is used to fatten up cattle, fatten up hogs, and stuff like that. And which sounds great and all, don't get me wrong, but the whole process here with it is that it's very high carb and very high sugar. Yeah. And by the way, I love corn, but what does corn bring to your diet? But if you read even ingredients on fish food, they have corn in it. Corn is put in almost everything. For instance, when you buy a Dr. Pepper, it's not sugar, it's corn syrup, which behaves like sugar. It's a sweetener, it's the same type of thing. And Bob Kaler, you're right. It's we all have cancers within us. It's either we have whether our body can beat it back or not. Yes, it could be also that they have found certain cancers, especially with women with breast cancer awareness month. They have actually found a gene that leads to women getting breast cancer. So it's or doesn't lead, but is just more than likely for it to occur. Okay, well, I don't care how much GMO food you eat. If you have that genetic marker in you that makes you more susceptible, it is. In the dog world, corn in food is a big thing. They can't digest it any more than we can. No, it's I mean, they throw corn in everything. I like hot peppers too, David Samsel. Hi, Ali Sean. How are you? I missed you. So, some delicious water. Mmm, it's good and it's fresh, tasty. Fresh off the vine tomatoes. No, that's really good. It I was watching a show. It was on the Science Channel, I think. I think it was Science Channel about a year or so ago. And it was a show about chickpeas. I'm not joking. chickpeas. Hold on, let me. So the show about chickpeas is that apparently in like northern Finland or Norway, in case there ever is some sort of a cataclysm on Earth, there's a seed. There's a seed arc, and they were complaining because of GMO foods that they were looking for chickpeas that were not genetically engineered, because apparently nearly every chickpea is genetically engineered. Let's use this. Hold on. Okay, that's good news. Well, I think that the genetic markers are there for a number of things. For instance, I had a brain aneurysm. Now, if you're going to sit there and ask, bring it up to a geneticist and that type of thing, they tell you that that brain aneurysms are not hereditary. Okay, let me tell you how non-hereditary a brain aneurysm is. My great-grandfather had a brain aneurysm. My grandmother had a brain aneurysm. They both died before they were 45 years old. Okay? I had a brain aneurysm. Okay? My brother has a brain aneurysm. It's not big enough to operate on. A cousin. So out of 15 cousins, 15 or 16 cousins, 3 have brain aneurysms. So, it's, for instance, if you come from a family and there's people in families that have a lot of cancer, well, you probably shouldn't be doing 3 packs of Marlboros every day. Or if you have heart attack in your family, heart disease in your family, you probably should be watching your. I have a buddy of mine who has had 3 heart attacks, and his triglycerides were way out of whack. His cholesterol in the 300s, even when he was in his 20s. Well, you have that. Well, you better see the doctor, follow what they do. The good news is they can do a lot to keep you along and go from there. For instance, there's some guppies that give you many more males than females. And why is that the case? It's is that it's either the hormonals of the females of that variety, or the males of that strain of guppies produce much more male sperm. There you go. It goes along with things I have been reading about GMO involving not only biological but chemical elements, meaning pesticides involved. It's the one thing I have a hard time arguing over is that obviously I think that pesticides and insecticides, that some of them can be very damaging. They're very sophisticated things that go through. You did a lot of research after having 3 boys, then you got your girl. Yeah, one of my cousins' daughters. She and her husband were going till they were having a boy, and they have like 4 little girls, and they got the baby boy. Breeding roaches, so no pesticides here. Oh, there you go. But if you look at pesticides, for instance, it's now my mind just went blank on what was the one, Kaler or Doug Gray? What was the pesticide that was used that they blamed for thinning shells on birds and hurting reproduction of birds, especially raptors? DDT. And Vinny the Mooch has got it. Yep, DDT. And DDT, uh, even to this day, is one of the most effective insect killers in the world. And you go to a place like Africa, which has a lot of malaria, and malaria kills, you know, tens of thousands of people every year. And so they stopped using it in Africa probably about 10 years ago, and all of a sudden the malaria cases are, through the roof again. Well, you know, can't they go and just use DDT once every 3-4 years? I'm just asking for a friend. I don't know. So let's see. Male sperm swim faster. Girl sperm swim slower. Alkalinity and acidity all have a factor. I love sushi. I love it a whole lot. I have a birthday coming up. I think I'll go do sushi. I love sushi. I love, as you can tell, I like food. Yeah, Bob Killer, here's something that's kind of interesting, though, is that men have a higher percentage of early death because, well, we're men and we do crazy junk, absolutely crazy junk. There's a list of your as my leg of health issues. Yeah, and there is Peplin Creeks, but again, it does. There's some things we have to. It's much more difficult than just saying, yeah, that's terrible or what have you. Yeah, I love the bees. Save the bees. I've been sort of kicking the around the idea of getting a beehive in the backyard. I think that would be really funky. Except I don't drink a lot. I don't use a lot of honey. I do use some honey, like some oatmeal. Let's see, beehives for sale near me. Let's see here. What do they charge for a good old fashioned beehive? Let's see here. Ooh, a 30 frame hive. $159. There you go. And let's see here. How do you buy bees to put inside your hive? It's let's see here. Let's see. Oh yeah, they have bees for sale. Bees for sale. Well, this place says that their customers love their bees. So there you go. Apparently, this is a spring thing. Save the bees, everybody. Save the bees. Gonna need a lot of flowering things around, or the hive will leave. Yeah, that probably is one of the deals. Southern Italy, we have eaten a lot of raw fish and shellfish for millennia, but today's problem in pollution and the increased presence of parasites, such as that. Yeah, no, and there are certain types of animals where pesticides very much in. Oh, let's talk about okay, what about lobster? What about shellfish? What about the bottom feeders that are just sort of eating off dead things? Crabs. The rock lobster. Exactly correct, Doug Gray. Exactly correct. And not a bad song either. Yeah, it's very complicated being at one with nature, yet using man's ingenuity to increase the yield so we can feed all of our people in the world. Obviously, is something from there, and whenever I hear somebody complain about businesses making money off of our food and stuff like that, guess what? Without a profit motive, there is no innovation. There's really no innovation needed. Why should I spend all my time working on something if I can't make a living off it? I can't feed my family if I can't buy a house off it. So that's some of the stuff. No, that's cool. John, I'm all about saving the bees. I love the honey bees. I'm in favor of them. And yet there's so much waste and hunger. Exactly correct, Bob Kaler. Totally correct. It's it's not just producing the food, it's also distributing it. And a lot of the hunger, by the way, in this world is based on places that are at war, and has a lot to do with it. I think we're talking about Subarus again. Yeah, everything gets back to Subarus. By the way, I'll go out, and I'm guessing some people may dislike me for this. My next car, and I'm a few years away from it because I have like a 3-year-old car. I don't owe any money on it. It has 37,000 miles. I'm getting 36 miles per gallon around town. But, I'm looking at, wouldn't it be great to get one of those plug-in hybrids? So I was looking, and Subaru has a bunch of those things, a bunch of different varieties. So there you go. It's now I don't know how how reliable they are. So there you go. You have to think that the Japanese would look at their cars to be better than the Russians. Appreciation for old cars, not so with the Japanese. You saw a mini Subaru today that looked like a British taxi. Huh. I've been sort of thinking about getting a scooter. They get great gas mileage. You can zip around, but I'd only I would not drive it to work at 3 a.m. It's just not what's going to happen. I think Subarus have electric cars. You probably saw a trash compactor. The Fred Flintstone model. I'll tell you what, the whole wood thing though, not the wood thing, the stone wheels, probably kind of heavy to get going, but probably once to get going, yabba dabba doo. All right, gang, it is 7 o'clock. Our buddy Bob is starting his live stream. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we will see you on Sabado. That's Saturday in Espanol. Adios, amigos.